Hey, it's Tom here, and welcome back to another episode of The Wealthy Walker. In today's episode, I thought we'd take a different journey, the Metaverse. It's safe to say that everyone has been talking about the Metaverse of late, but seriously, what is the Metaverse and why should we be investing in it? In today's episode, I'm going to tell you 5 ways that you can be investing in the Metaverse. So stick around for those value bombs. Oh my god, I'm getting absolutely battered with hailstone. So I suppose you're wondering, why on earth should we be investing in the Metaverse in the first place? For me, it's pretty simple. First there was Internet 1.0. A lot of your traditional websites, .com websites, that is Internet 1.0. And that's how we got started with the Internet. Then we went to Internet 2.0, and that is all your social media, your WhatsApps, your apps, ways that we can communicate online other than through the traditional .com websites. Of course, as things have progressed, now we're reaching Web 3.0, and this is the Metaverse. This is where we step outside of normal reality and move into augmented reality, virtual reality. You know, different ways that we can communicate other than through WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. I think the reason why there's so much hype right now with the Metaverse is because, can you imagine if you were able to invest in HTTPS, in the original internet? The real question is, where should we invest our money? Because not everything is going to succeed. The truth is, the Metaverse can be so many different things. It's not just gaming, it's not just virtual reality. There's a lot of aspects to consider here before jumping in and investing in the Metaverse. Ever since I got started investing back in early February of 2021, I have already been investing in the Metaverse without really knowing it. And this naturally puts me on to the first place that I would consider for investing in the Metaverse, the stock market. So the stock market is probably going to be the easiest place that you can start investing in the Metaverse. Of course, you could play it incredibly safe and just invest in a Metaverse company that has a huge network already, and that is obviously Meta, Facebook. Back in the autumn, Facebook shook up the internet by announcing that they were changing their name from Facebook to Meta, and they're not wrong by moving in this direction. Ultimately, they have a huge network that they can provide a virtual world to, a metaverse to. And so good luck to them. They're one of the first movers in the space, and we'll see where Meta goes. For me, it's a pretty safe bet to invest in Meta. However, it is important to know that this is a centralized organization. So if you own shares in Meta, you aren't going to have a say on the direction of the company. You're ultimately relying on them making good business decisions. Of course, beyond Meta, there's lots of other companies that are dabbling in the Metaverse. You could also play it safe by investing in chip-related companies. 2 big names worth considering are Nvidia and AMD, because they are ultimately supporting the computers that are designing the Metaverse. And whether it's centralized or decentralized, ultimately you're going to need computer power to power these metaverses to keep them running. So Nvidia, AMD, 2 safe bets, but I'm sure if you do your research, you're going to find a lot more chip-related companies available too on the stock market. Another pure play to consider for investing in the Metaverse is Unity software. Now Unity is on the stock market under the ticker U, and basically Unity are a coding company. They are creating all the code that's helping build these games, these metaverses. And so when you're in these virtual worlds, you've just got to consider, how has this been made? Obviously through code, and chances are Unity are behind it. So full disclosure, I'm invested in Unity, and I believe they're going to have a big part to play in the Metaverse. Of course, business is going to be a big part of the Metaverse. People are going to be attending virtual meetings, and so you do want to consider companies like Microsoft for Teams and Zoom for all their communication services too. What about storage? Are people going to be wanting to hold all their information online? If so, you might want to consider storage companies on the stock market, such as Dropbox. Okay, so moving on, you might also want to consider gambling. You know, gambling is going to have a big part to play in the Metaverse. People are going to want to hang out, gamble And so there's lots of gambling companies that are going to invest in the metaverse. One that I really like is DraftKings. They're brilliant for fantasy sports. They've got huge partnerships with the NFL, NBA. Full disclosure, I'm invested in DraftKings. I've used their software before, and I can't see why they wouldn't want to be involved in the metaverse. What about security, guys? The online world is frightening. There's lots of scammers out there. The metaverse is going to have to be monitored and policed in some way. And so the online security firms are probably going to be good investments from the stock market. A couple of names to mention are Cloudflare and CrowdStrike. So I think I've already given you enough ideas there to springboard off with the stock market, and it's certainly one of the easiest places to start investing in the metaverse. The second way that you can invest in the metaverse, and this one is a bit more restrictive, and that is through private investing. Now, I've personally not done this because I'm not rich enough, but basically there are ways to invest privately in companies that are involved with the metaverse through crowdfunding. Websites such as Crowdcube, fantastic for investing in companies, in new startups. Now, of course, the risk here is your capital, you might never get it back. If the company never goes public and there's no way for you to sell your shares in the company, then just consider this one to be a bit more risky than other investments. But if it is successful, it does get acquired by a bigger company, then chances are you are going to be quids in on your investment. So it's just something to consider. Even angel investing, keep your eye on these websites, because if there's a chance for you to invest, a few £100s in a metaverse company and get your money back in the future, 10-fold, 20-fold, or however much profit you're able to make, then this just seems like a no-brainer if you've got the spare cash. Okay, so the third way that you can invest in the metaverse is through decentralized organizations. And this is through crypto. Chances are, if you're watching this video and you're already invested in the metaverse and you're just looking for other ways, you're probably already using cryptocurrencies to build your digital asset portfolio. So the obvious names for the metaverse in the decentralized world are Decentraland and the Sandbox. There is a real benefit to investing in a decentralized organization, and that is, in some cases, you do have some voting power with your investment. There's always a risk that if you invest in something that is centralized, that they could go off in a bad direction, something could go wrong, and you have no voting say as to how it should be improved. Of course, when Facebook changed their name to Meta, a lot of people started to look into the metaverse, and naturally the big names in the space shot up in price. So the Sandbox, Decentraland, both boomed in price appreciation. And that's a good thing, it creates awareness. It's also a bad thing for people who didn't invest early. Another thing about owning these tokens, however, is you can get land on there. You can also buy digital assets through their currencies, through their mana and sand tokens. And you can ultimately then create your own space in your own little plot of land. You can gamify it, you can rent it out. There's just going to be lots of ways for you to make money through this virtual world. And so the Sandbox and Decentraland are high on my priority list, and if the prices of land ever come down, I will be investing. So that is the third way on my list of ways that you can invest in the metaverse. But of course, these companies, they're having to be built on somewhere, on some sort of platform. And so this is the fourth way that you can invest in the metaverse: the blockchains such as Ethereum and Solana. These companies are harboring some of the most innovative metaverse companies. They're building upon Solana and Ethereum. So to not invest in those areas would be just crazy. So hold on tight to your Ethereum and Solana. Okay, so sticking with the crypto theme, another way for you to invest in the metaverse is through gaming. Now, gaming is massive. It's probably going to be the first mover in terms of a way to get people onto the metaverse. Gaming is super addictive. People spend a lot of money on gaming, and with the metaverse, we're going to be able to play to earn, and that is just taking things to another level. You only have to look at the emergence of esports over the years, getting sponsored to play games. They're trying to make money through gaming. They There's huge prizes available in tournaments, all this kind of stuff. And so it's natural that with play to earn, you're not going to have to win the tournament to make money. You're going to be able to just make money through doing in-game tasks and whatnot. And then also, the assets within those games are going to hold value. You only have to look at games like Fortnite and FIFA. People are spending a lot of money just to play the games, and they're not earning anything back in most cases. And so play to earn is naturally just going to change the game for everyone. Even though a lot of these games aren't actually out yet, we're still so early, the reality is you could buy in early, you can own tokens of those companies, their in-game currencies, that kind of thing, NFTs, in-game assets, and you are going to be rewarded for investing in those companies before they even came out. Of course, they aren't all going to succeed. Some will struggle, some will fail, but for me, if you spread your bets, not financial advice, you're probably going to get some decent gains from investing in all things metaverse gaming. Okay, so a couple of names to mention include Illuvium and My Neighbor Alice. That's two games that I've already mentioned on this channel before. The video is up here if you're interested in watching it. But there's thousands of games being launched, so keep your eye on these things. You know, I've got a few on my list right now. I've invested in a few. And yeah, get in early and spread your bets, because if any of those companies succeed, chances are the value of the assets that you've purchased, whether it be land, you know, assets within the game like weapons, tools, that kind of thing, or just the tokens in general, the in-game tokens, they're all going to appreciate in value. Of course, to buy anything crypto related, the majority of us use exchanges to do this. Two of the obvious names include Binance and Coinbase. I've left links to both of those exchanges in the description below. Should you choose to deposit for any of those exchanges, it will reward me as an affiliate, and it'd be very much supporting this channel. So thank you very much for those people that decide to click the links. And so yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. My 5 ways for you to invest into the metaverse. Sometimes it's just good to focus on 1 or 2 and start there. That's certainly how I got started, and it took me down this rabbit hole where I discovered a lot of ways that you can invest in the metaverse. I really do wish that Facebook hadn't done their name change, because I was building up the finances to be able to invest in all these different areas. But it is what it is. You can't control these things, and I suppose I've got to be grateful for Meta bringing, you know, global awareness to what is going to be an absolute game changer, the metaverse. So yeah, if you think I've missed any other ways that you can invest in the metaverse, do let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas. You know, I am still new to investing. I've only been in since February 2021. But yeah, I hope this video helps, and we'll see you on the next walk. Bye for now.